Horizon Chess Home City Reaction. This is I built cities, plural. Skyline 2's largest city. Then I destroyed it. Okay, did he make a one city or two? I don't know. All right. So he made multiple cities and one large one. Is that it? Okay. This is by the channel martincitopants. It's a Martin video. Proper main channel Martin video. So it's going to be fun. I didn't want him to do that summer car thing because that's insanely good. But there you go. I guess he's going to go, all right, lads, back to drawing board. This time we are making cities. Last time we went to the, the nearest star through the, rocket. I guess we're going to make new city now there. Where did he go? Proxima B? That's where he went? I don't know. But yeah, this is on Martin. Okay, did this game launch very recently because it's weird. Martin and Let's Game It Out posted literally at the same hour the video. So I guess that's when the whatever that thing is where developers have this kind of a like you can't launch until this time or whatever, that's called embargo. Was that lifted then? I didn't know Martin did that embargo thing, right? I thought he just like makes video whenever he wants, not that immediately, but I don't know. Or it's just coincidence, who the fuck knows? I don't know when the game came out. It says 2023. Is it, just yesterday or something? I don't know. So let's go on. Martin is great, obviously. All the shit he does is insanely good. It's like, something on basically best way to summarize it, back to the drawing board type of thing, right? He does experiment type of shit. It's all funny here and there and just feels awesome. So the games like, Kerbal Space Program, Summer Car, My Summer Car, whatever, where you can actually, have this kind of a detail simulation type element to it. Martin's great at that. Now, this Cities Skyline, I think it's like a building type of game, like Sims, but I guess you can build cities and things. I don't know how good is that going to be, because Martin is mostly like, focused on one goal is better than anything else. This is building city. I don't know how great this is going to be, but I guess we'll see. Remember, people, if you like my don't forget to subscribe. So I know which type of videos to react to more. I've done quite a few Martin videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the link in the description. And yeah, let's watch it. All right.
Hello, sir.
Of course.
Hey! Hello again. Welcome to Poopville. A few weeks ago, the wonderful people over at Paradox Interactive gave me access to an early build
it
of
is
Cities
embargo
Skylines
thing.
2.
What?
And then, they put me on a crane. We'll talk about that later. In Cities Skylines 2, you build cities, construct townships, move people around with mass transit networks, and try your absolute hardest to not murder hundreds of thousands of people with a tsunami of poo. Since this is an early pre-release of the game, only a select few people can actually play it, which gave me a devilish idea. Without too much effort, I can probably make the largest city the game has ever seen. And then, I can commit unspeakable atrocities upon my glorious creation. So, let us begin.
That might happen in 2036 or something.
Wanting
When
to
the
start things
asteroid
off
comes.
properly, I began the game with tutorials. Move with these keys, tilt the camera with these keys, build roads like this. Zoning. And before I knew it, I had built the beginning of a small town, burgeoning with life, ready to take on the future.
Inhabited by the brightest of a new generation. A town of bustling opportunities, limitless growth.
Is that an obelisk?
Yep.
What is that?
That's, yeah. Unlike the first game, I had no limit on the amount of terraforming I could do, which meant I could do things like this. For the city's road
20.
network, I had conceived an incredible solution to traffic. Triangles. This amazing technology makes
What's the
every
new
single
emphasis on
intersection in the
nailing?
city
Okay.
6 ways. You might think this is very stupid, and it is, but what's even stupider is this type of intersection actually exists in real life. And where else would it exist than beautiful, sunny Los Angeles? The real intersection is even worse than these ones though, because it doesn't have any traffic lights. Just 6 stop signs.
I don't get that. Seriously, why?
With traffic 100% solved, forever, I could move on to more important things, like schools, police stations.
Things like that wouldn't even work in India. I mean, some dirt road, that's kind of road maybe. but not a proper road, right? People would just be pissed off instantly. Like 6 lanes, like not even signals there. Like how does that work? I don't know. I'm guessing it's not something that gets a lot of traffic, so there's never been an issue, so nobody addresses it.
Water infrastructure, fire stations, and most importantly, somewhere to put all the poo. How about, here. Once the poo had been successfully routed into the poo-cano, it was only a matter of time until it filled. Well, a matter of very long time.
No.
I spent about another hour
What
on the
about the
city,
smell,
and by then
man?
it had filled to about here. Not very high. And that meant it was
housing.
time to drink. Placing a water pump inside the poo-cano resulted in fresh poo being delivered directly to people's taps, which caused the entire city to either pack up and leave, or die. Well, Poopville was no more. And with that, we move on to attempt 2. Gentlemen, welcome to Peniston. This city went a little better than Poopville.
Should have played
A
something
little.
like saxophone
This
style
time, I spent a
music,
bit longer
like
learning the
Miami
basic
style.
principles of the game, and examined things that had been changed from City Skylines 1. Things like much larger, really nice looking service buildings, like this coal plant. Ooh, or this landfill. I checked out the new zoning, pedestrian-only streets,
areas.
the grid tool, and of course, radio announcements telling you what's going on in the city.
The commercial district is booming.
More radio announcements.
So a housing shortage is bad for the people trying to move here, right?
And
That's
my personal favorite,
There's a widespread concern over fears that an insidious underground criminal organization has seized control of the area.
Recent crime stats confirm that the crime wave has certainly gripped our region, and it's showing no signs of letting up.
I don't like the sound of that, Glenda.
We'll be back after this.
oh, fuck! All of this was great. So, I, flattened
I like
a
that
bit
it's
of land
not all that
and
shit.
got to work on the next area. I did a bit of bus stuff, zoned a bunch of housing, built these terrible, awful roads connecting everything, and then people started drinking poo again. Fucking goddamn shit. Attempt 3. Before attempt 3 began, I had a few things to do. Namely, fly all the way to Germany, hang out for a few days,
Okay, this is good, I guess. Obviously, the older City Skylines game, I'm pretty sure I've seen a demo here and there. And it's like building a city good enough, but I didn't know it was that much detail. I guess the newer game has it. That's the best thing about the newer games nowadays, because of the new engine abilities, what your graphics card can do, and processor as well. Like, processors have now like 15, 20 cores to it, like even the normal processors. So, this shit is insane, right? You can do all these things and add and just add more. So, yeah, all these, news and things like things like this makes me think that soon we're going to have something like a simulation element of it, right? Because it's way too far in the future, but you can just add to it. And there'll be one day where somebody just makes something enough of an AI touch to it, so it might as well be a simulation. And there might be an NPC that basically can act like they're alive or something. If you tell them they're not real, they might panic. I can already envision that. That's so good.
and then get hoisted 50 meters into the air by a crane. Now that we're in position, it was time to begin our fabulous new city. When naming this new city, I tried to think of a name that inspired greatness. A name that made me think, Gentlemen, behold, the grand city
Cool city.
of... This time, I wasn't going to keep messing around. This time, I would research the ins and outs of city building, and I would construct a wonderful, perfect, flawless utopian city. So first things first, I did some research.
Malls and shit. How to put it.
And with that research completed, here are my findings. So, we want to build the largest possible city. A city that has an extremely high population, all buying products, driving their car, and most importantly, pooping out their butt. Well, to get to that point, our new city of couldn't just be a huge grid with nothing but apartment buildings. Believe me, I tried. No one moved in. This city needed to be attractive. People had to actually want to move in. And that
Yeah. This city building or plan, like city planning is what's called, I guess, by local, local governments and things is really intense when you really look into it, right? Where you can make something or not. I mean, it depends if they're competent or not, I guess. But yeah, where you can put something, where you can't, why should be here, not where to put anything industrial related, where to put anything like major buildings and things, where is residential area or not, where to put malls and not. It's way too much detail and way too many codes into it when you really look into it, right? And it kind of makes sense when you realize that, because you can't just put willy-nilly anything everywhere, right? I'm pretty sure there might be a case like that somewhere, like old cities, where they didn't know what they were doing and just put shit together. Didn't even have roads for cars because they probably didn't even think that cars might be a thing. Like, that's some intense things, right? So yeah, like residential areas can have malls, but I guess there has to be some space to it, right? You can't just put like, there's some like the housing societies and things, and you can just put mall literally touching that, right? So yeah, there's way too many codes into it. Logistics is ridiculous.
Substantially complicates things. So, why would a citizen want to move here? Well, maybe they've got a good job, or the amenities are nice, the shops sell cool stuff, the city services are reliable, it's safe, there are dudes that be selling that good Zaza, plenty of crack, a nice, pleasant location to gamble away my kid's college fund, hookers on every street corner. The reasons one might want to live in a city are truly endless, so we have to try to accommodate as many as possible. First and foremost, they need somewhere to live. So let's build some roads, zone them for low-density residential.
Yeah, even how wide a road should be compared to where it is also like one of the key points there, right? Like, it also has to follow code. You can have a wide road, there's suddenly less wide road next to it and things like that. So you have to construct things based on that, right? Which type of I don't know, drainage and things you're going to put it will be based on that. Like, what type of movement is going to be there? Is it a school nearby? Are there going to be a lot of school buses going there? Any industry road goes nearby? Are there going to be trucks passing by? So which type of piping you want to put it underground? Way too many thought into it.
Wait. Hooray! Our first citizen, the Pooh Man. If I wanted the Pooh Man to actually stay in this city, I needed to build a few service buildings. A groundwater pump for pumping groundwater. A windmill for milling wind. An industrial sector for people to work at. And then I had to decide on a place to put the Pooh. Yeah, I'll put it here.
Sewage plant.
Once that was all done, I zoned a few more things and then just sort of sat back and watched my creation do its magic. I even found a dog.
Bar.
And there we go. Our first milestone.
Classic Martin, that's signature right
This
there.
milestone unlocked a few new service buildings. I placed down a medical clinic, a cemetery, an elementary school, a landfill. The city of was definitely making me go With the city now growing quite quickly, came even more unlocks. Roundabouts, fire stations, police stations, higher density housing, specialized industry, and before I knew it, had reached 1,000 population. And nighttime. Nighttime in this game looks quite nice. Now, the build I was playing on was
way
quite an
too
early
much
one, which meant
infrastructure
it came with a few
for
bugs here and
1,000
there.
people.
My favorite of which being gas stations with, rather powerful lights. So, what next? Well, now the city had reached 1,000 population, I had to do something truly awful. I had to start thinking. You see, in the first game, all big cities had one common struggle: traffic. If I wanted the city to be truly huge, I had to get on top of traffic before it became an issue. So of course, I did some more research. Holy shit! Roads. Roads on the surface may seem simple enough. Get them wrong, and disaster will follow.
Roads are really
So,
like complicated
how do you
in
not get them wrong?
cities.
Well, by following a few basic principles of road networks. First being roadway hierarchy. You probably already
Yeah, roads are so complicated in city planning. Basically, you have to envision 20 years in advance, like the way trend is happening. Where is some place going to be, or what kind of development a place going to see in 20 years? So they have to give permission how to build it based on that, so they can plan future roads for it. Because if they plan just shit when they didn't plan for it and realize that there's not much place for larger roads, it will become an issue.
have a vague idea of what this means. Obviously, a highway has a pretty different purpose than the road that goes to your house. The hierarchy goes like this: highways, then arterial roads, then collectors, and then local roads. They don't necessarily need different numbers of lanes or higher speed or really anything distinguishing them. The distinction is more about where they are in the network than what they actually look like. Each step down the hierarchy trades off mobility, or how fast you can get from point A to B, with access, or how many things you can put on that road. local roads have the highest access but lowest mobility, while highways have the highest mobility with the lowest access. Speaking of highways, hey, there's a highway right there. So, back to the city of... We can see that these basic road principles have already been used. This road here is an arterial road. We've got some collectory looking dudes off to the side here, and all our houses are placed nicely along local roads. Next up, another neighborhood. An arterial road up here, and... wonderful. As our city grew larger, we unlocked even more stuff. This stuff is quite important, since we need to keep our citizens happy so more move in. In order to keep our citizens happy, I had devised a devious plan. Fuck time.
Oh, that hurts.
With the city sufficiently, lathered in parks, I could add more stuff. An industrial area here, some mixed-use developments over here, a college here, an experimental pedestrian-only street with shops over here, and before I knew it, 5,000 population. At this point in the game, issues start cropping up, like our cash flow.
Yeah, every game has exploit with how it works, right? So you really need to figure out like which element, like is parks are the thing, are the shopping areas are the thing, are the roads are the thing, which will cause more people to come. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a thing. Like if you spam that, people are just going to be insanely high, right? I'm sure there's going to be balance, like you also have to have housing, otherwise they're not going to come or something.
Is still negative, or there's a little bit of traffic, or there's a giant forest fire bearing down on the city. Yeah, I'm sure all that's fine. We're going to take the noble path and completely ignore it. You see, in City Skylines, road design and layout will only get you so far in fighting traffic. The best way to stop jams is for there to be no cars there in the first place. Gentlemen, it was time to busy ourselves with public transit.
I thought it was going to say genocide, but okay, that's good.
At our small scale, we only really have the capacity to add buses. So we'll add some buses. I remember first playing City Skylines 1 and spamming the shit out of buses absolutely everywhere. Doing this resulted in bus lines that look something like this. Now yes, this line does in fact service a lot of people, but if you live here and want to go here, instead of the bus going straight there, it goes here, then around here, and then stops here, and finally arrives here. This system is dumb. It's far better to have a bus that just goes from one point to another in the city and then stops in between. With that said, here's my first bus route. It takes people from the apartments to the industrial area and back. Simple. Now of course, the whole point of doing this is to allow people to get around without using their car. The vast majority of people, when given the choice between a bus and a car, all else equal, will almost always choose a car. This is great if you want your city to look like this, but I don't. So we need to make the bus a viable alternative.
Oh, so we don't have
do this
democracy
with
here,
bus
I guess,
lanes
okay.
to prioritize bus traffic, or by not providing parking near the destination so they can't drive there. What's more important, however, is that the public transit system has layers to it. Public transit isn't just buses. It's also trams, metro, ferries, trains, and even aircraft. All these systems should
Where's
mesh together
bicycles?
to provide a viable alternative to just getting in your car and driving to your destination. The end result?
That's the
well,
muscle guy right there.
hopefully, not this. With the beginnings
Oh
of our
my
public
god, is
transit
that
network,
traffic jam that happened in China or somewhere, right? Like an immense, like what was it, like 2 weeks or something, it was stuck there. How the fuck does that work? Like, I don't know, like, look, I like my car, alright? But fuck car if I have to stand somewhere 2 weeks. I would just get out of the car and walk at that point. Like, I don't care. I don't know, steal the car, throw it side or something, get angry, I don't care. I'm walking home at this point. Like, that was ridiculous, right? I won't stay at the traffic jam for 2 fucking weeks.
work laid out came rezoning. If I wanted the city to be the largest the game had ever seen, these single-family homes were no good. In their place, I zoned for mixed use, which are just apartment blocks with shops on the bottom. Instead of housing 4 or 5 people, mixed-use developments can house 60 to 80. Of course, I couldn't rezone everything at once, so I just did it gradually. Bulldozing Grandma's house, only every so often. With more population, once again, came more unlocks. This time, we'd unlocked the office space. Why work in a dangerous, hazardous manufacturing job when you can just sit on a computer?
Yeah. All right. It is surprising to me, like how China can be a communist party which takes countries' needs, ahead than any individuals. How communism kind of works, right? So if somebody's housed in the middle of like a highway, they won't ask his permission, or even ask for anything fairness or anything. You'll just basically bulldoze it. I guess they still have like eminent domain type of element to democracy, but you still can fight it and put a hold to it If you can argue, that's not going to happen in any communism. At the same time, there also have a lot of cars that cause that like 2-week long traffic jam. Like, I don't know where things are failing, even with their communist execution, but I don't know.
Computer and slap a keyboard for 8 hours a day. Hey, wait a minute. Offices have a few advantages over industry. The important one being, they don't produce pollution. This means that we can place them wherever we
Like
want.
coal burners
They
or
also
something,
employ
right?
a higher proportion of educated workers. This is good when your city has a high level of education. Mine doesn't, but it's nice to think that maybe someday it will. In the meantime, though, the citizens needed to be put back to work. Ah, shit. In particular, we needed more industry. Perhaps like this chemical plant building thing, which looks really cool, and I want to drink whatever funny liquid it produces.
Frog has lost his mind, man. Yes, industrial waste. That's his brain cell dying right there.
Oh, fuck. In that time I spent doing whatever it was that I was doing, the city had managed to pass the 15,000 population milestone.
Where's your
Nice.
leader? I don't know.
Oh yeah, and
Dropped
I
into
was
sewage.
still on the crane. Guys, it's been a long time, guys. Can you please let me down, please, guys? Everything in
What is he
was
doing
going
there,
perfectly. The commercial district was
The commercial district is booming as the
industry was on the
Industry
rise.
in the region is on the rise, and when
A housing shortage was driving up prices in the
housing
area.
shortage is driving up prices in the area.
Oh my god, yes, I get it. Do these radio announcers ever shut the fuck up?
No, Martin, we don't shut up.
What's this one?
Martin, time is running out. The citizens demanded Martin. The citizens want poo. Martin, the Poocano is coming.
Yeah, I get
Why are you
it.
saying this?
That,
No, this isn't
okay,
right. Stop,
so
please.
good.
Stop.
Martin,
Stop, please.
exclusive.
Please stop. Go away. What are you talking about? I like this thing. Please. What are you talking about? No, I don't want to fight with poo. No. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Well, I hit this new milestone. Built this bridge thing.
It's like his developer actually basically gave him to all this like recording from the voice actor and things like that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I guess Martin doesn't have like 20 million subscribers or something like the top channel. But I guess all these developers knows that doesn't matter the subscriber, right? He gets like one of the highest view of all time. Like less than 20, like around 24 hours, he's going to be up to million or something. Like it's been around 24 hours now. It's already like 967,000. Right? He always does that. Like in few days, it'll probably be in multi-million. So that's like as big as you can get for games, I guess.
Yeah.
Martin.
Okay, well, maybe we should try a port. You know, because it's got like the funny. You know, the funny. You know, the funny water vehicle. You know, the funny. So I made a port. Now the city has shipping access. Hooray! Okay, how about a train yard and some trains? Alrighty, bam, trains. A stop over here, a stop over here, some tunnels connecting them all, this cool train bridge thing.
I think boat thing
Nice.
is the biggest one.
How about a metro?
For trading
Metro
at
stations,
least.
tunnels, metro lines. The attractiveness of was truly off the charts. And in the next couple of hours of playing, the population ballooned from 15,000 to 50,000 people.
Damn, that's a
This,
jump.
once again, unlocked a swath of new high-density buildings. So to cram even more people into my more and more limited space, I zoned a bunch of high-rises. Was well on its way to city glory. But this huge influx
house
did
a
in
lot
fact
more than
cause
50,000.
a few issues. Namely, traffic. With so many people moving in all at once, car traffic coming into the city was truly huge. So to combat this, I came up with a genius idea. A wonderful, pleasant, beautiful urban highway. Currently, there's only one access point into the city, but with our wonderful new urban highway and this cool bridge, there was now two. Okay, highways are cool and all that, but what's the best way to merge a highway with another road? Gentlemen, it's time to dive into the wonderful world interchanges. So, you're an urban planner, and you've got a problem. You've got this big road going this way, and another big road going this way. How do you join them together? Well, with an interchange. There are several to choose from, and they all serve slightly different purposes. Trumpet interchange, three-way directional interchange, single-point urban interchange, cloverleaf, partial cloverleaf, diverging diamond, and everyone's favorite concrete abomination,
that's for the high speed.
the stack interchange. Some of these interchanges are meant for moving traffic from one highway to another, like the stack interchange, while others are made for taking traffic off the highway and putting it onto a more accessible road. This is what we want for our new highway. So for this job, I chose the diamond interchange. Well, a pretty basic and honestly shit version of one, but a diamond interchange nonetheless. I repeated this basic shit design.
I guess it depends, right? Like, it's merging two highways though. Is that a highway? No, it's not a highway, right? But it's still like big enough. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a city level road. So I don't like this would be like 40, 50 miles per hour or something. Then it's fine, because if you leave your highway, and they should be longer, man, it's just turned in just like that. It should be a longer version. I don't know. But if you come here, then you can stop, you can look, and so it's not a direct motorway thing, right? So stopping and looking and changing that way is fine. You need a clover lift type of thing if both sides are high speed thing. Otherwise, there would be an issue. So this is kind of fine.
Mostly shit version of one, but a diamond interchange nonetheless. I repeated this basic shit design down the length of our wonderful stretch of road and ended up with
way
this.
too steep,
Once
man.
that
You
was
need a
done, it was
longer
time to
road.
build a cool
So you
bridge
know
all
how
the way
to
back to the
change that.
mainland and connect it up to the highway down there. This requires another interchange. Hooray! For this job, we're using a three-way directional interchange. As the title says,
this is fine.
it's three ways, directional, and an interchange. Yeah. Anyway, with that place down, this wonderful new section of highway is open for business. And you know what that means? More expansion. More expansion, of course, meaning huge influxes of new people. In just a few hours, the city managed to go from 50,000 population all the way up to 90,000. Huge swaths of new people making their way into the city via our new highway proved very quickly that the interchanges I had designed were in fact very bad, and I should feel bad about it. Fucking idiot, fucking stupid dumbass. Not
Clover lift style is the best one, I guess, because it's like seamless. You don't have to pause for anything at that point. Okay, why is this causing traffic jam in the first place? Like, these places are empty, like nowhere. So why is this? Like, why are they paused here? Like, I'm pretty sure there's like a accident or something there. Because why would this be the case?
in fact very bad, and I should feel bad about it. Fucking idiot, fucking stupid dumbass. Not to worry though, because one of my intercity trains I had the foresight of building was doing some serious heavy lifting. A couple of them were even full, holding 800 passengers each. All 800 of which got off at one station, causing this wonderful cascade of bodies to come flooding out, filling the streets like some sort of...
in this fucking
causing this wonderful
They're just like, oh, door is not open, doesn't matter. We are in rush.
cascade
Just
of bodies to come
morphing
flooding
in.
out, filling the streets like some sort of gelatinous liquid. Beautiful. And with that, more expansion. I built more neighborhoods, and more thousands of people flocked to me. Tram lines, highways, thousands of spaces for new buildings. It was only a matter of time before the population skyrocketed yet again.
Okay.
Yeah, except it didn't.
What?
For whatever reason, people had decided enough was enough, and they didn't want to move in anymore. What's worse is, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why.
I mean, have you made like malls and shit? Like, I'm pretty sure like shopping is the one thing weirdly that like really pushes a city to a high number, right? Like all the amenities. Look at the malls. Look at the shopping here and there and all that shit. Parks and things. Like parks, I guess, comes second. First thing is like where you can spend money for some reason. That's like always like the top one.
Mousing over the citizens. People get sick of their keyboard slapping and need manufacturing jobs. So I gave them what they wanted, And holy shit, a nice influx of tens of thousands of people. I passed over 100,000, then over 150. People were literally dying to get to my city. And, predictably, the traffic was really bad. I expanded so much that I'd filled up the barrier island. I expanded down to the mainland, filling it with a huge, expansive suburbia. I built over 100 elementary schools. The population grew still. I built these cool university buildings, the Large Hadron Collider, this needle-looking thing, and the population grew still. International airport, more suburbia, nuclear energy, more industry, trams, trains, more suburbia, highways, skyscrapers, incineration plants, more suburbia, infrastructure of all.
Nuclear energy. I'm pretty sure there's a poll that says like if you have any nuclear plants, there's a high chance people might avoid it. I don't know why I put nuclear plant there. Like people, oh, nuclear plant. Look at this shit in the background, like industries. I'm sorry, you can't have that at this near city. Pretty sure nowadays nobody puts that shit near a city. That's like way too far back, right? It's like industrial revolution London or something. Look at that. Whenever you have like good metropolitan type of city, industry like that will be like a multiple kilometer miles, whatever away that you can barely see it from a city or something. That's
all
okay.
shapes and sizes. The city grew and grew and grew.
And, then
And
a
here we
tsunami
are,
comes.
fellas. 300,000 citizens. I'm pretty confident this is the largest city ever built in Cities Skylines 2. Now, let me ask you a question. What are 300,000 people
Pretty
good
sure
at?
somebody made it
Maybe
something ridiculous out
making a
there.
lot of money, or using lots of incineration plants, or perhaps producing lots of digital goods. Yes, they are good at all of those things, but they're most good at one thing in particular. They are good
Dying.
at pooping. Gentlemen, I present to you
good
the
shit.
purpose of this city, what everything has been leading up to. I present the Pookano.
No. Don't do it. Play 50 Cent song right there. Frogman has done genocide. What is he doing?
In the ensuing Poonami, the entirety of was destroyed. Only one single person remained. The Pooh Man. If you'd like to beat my record and claim even more lives, pre-order this fantastic game with my link. Goodbye.
That shit was sinister. Here comes the Poonami. Yeah. Biggest war criminal of all time. The Frogman. There you go, people. I built Cities Skyline 2's largest city. Oh, I'm an idiot. Why is it saying cities? Because that's the fucking name of the game. Cities Skyline 2's largest city. Then I destroyed it by Channel martincitopants. Yeah, this was really good. What he was doing there on the crane or whatever. Like there was some event by developers. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure he was going to cover it in the end. He didn't. Okay. But yeah, this looks like decent game for that. Like anybody's into it, things like that. I just don't have time to build all this shit. But anybody's like that type of guy who just sits there, has this like a major project, who just does it every day for months just to build shit, add to it. I was that once when I was a kid, when I had time. Nowadays, I just don't. I can see the fun in it, but I just don't have time. But yeah, it looks good, right? All the people like who plays factories and shit, build. This like to those type of people is just insane. So yeah. Right, well, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.